All right, we're jumping into our Ukraine news now. It's Ukraine time. I'm not sure how much battlefield movement has actually happened. I know Bakhmut is getting very, very close to being surrounded. So today's Ukraine coverage, we are going to be covering some Russian media. We're going to be going over some of the latest troop movements. And we definitely have some combat footage for you, of course. You know, I'm just trying to find a good map analysis for today. Trying to find a Dennis or what is it, the Russian dude or whatever the hell his name is. If someone can find me a good map analysis video from Dennis or the other fella, that would be great. You know, and I should probably have this stuff figured out before I hit record, shouldn't I? It really does slow it down. Okay, 22 hours ago from Dennis over here. Is that his latest one? All right, I'm sure he'll have a better one. So we'll keep this open for the end of the stream. Okay, let's get to it. No more waiting. Let's see, our first video, Ukraine war, is Putin planning an anniversary attack? So we do have a little bit of a map analysis from Sky Media. Like I said, I like to show this because I think it's, you know, it encapsulates and it's a good introduction to this whole situation. If you're not exactly sure what's going on in Ukraine, these are good kind of rundowns.
The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that the situation on the front remains extremely acute, particularly in the eastern Donetsk region, where Russia appears to be stepping up an offensive. Well, joining me now for a closer look at what's happening on the ground is the former military intelligence security officer, Philip Ingram. Hello again to you, Philip. Just talk us through, by way of the helpful map that we're going to put on the screen, what is happening.
God damn, those heels. Holy shit. Just saying, man, those heels don't lie.
On the ground.
Well, taking a slightly bigger picture, if we look at Belarus, and that keeps coming into the commentary, Russia is using Belarus as a place to train those conscripts that we heard being called up and to try and match them up with pieces of equipment, put them into formations because they train them in the units that they want to fight, and then they're taking those formations and moving them around for this spring offensive that we keep hearing lots about. However, where the fighting is happening, the Russians are carrying out little probing attacks around Zaporizhia, artillery attacks further south than that, down to Kherson, and all along the red hatched line where the red dots are that we can see there, probing into the Ukrainian defences to see if there's any weak points that they can look at. Ukrainians are doing a little bit of probing back, but they're holding the Russians in a lot of places.
Yeah, talk us through what's happening on the counteroffensive.
Well, counteroffensive, we keep hearing of this spring offensive. The thing that will be important is the ground, whether the ground's solid enough for armoured formations to go through. But there's thinking in two potential Russian counteroffensives. And they'll want to do this before the Ukrainians get their hands on the Western tanks and infantry fighting vehicles that are coming in. And Putin tends to like anniversaries. So there's a possibility he might do this. Yeah, on exactly a year on. So towards the end of next month, 23rd, 24th, 25th of February, might try and do something. He's moved elements of the 2nd Motor Rifle Division from Belarusia that's trained into the Lyshansk Oblast. And that gives them two options that people are talking about to counterattack through. One down through Veledar, that we can see south of Donetsk there, and come sweeping through that to try and push out and capture the rest of the Donetsk Oblast. But the other one is, and there's been fighting going on in this area for the last 6 months, through Bakhmut, and exploit any successes that he gets through there.
And just talk us through, we've been focusing a lot, haven't we, on Bakhmut the last few weeks. Just remind us what is happening there and why it's important.
Well, it feels like the last few weeks we've been talking about Bakhmut for over 6 months now. That's the shocking bit about it. And a number of things that are happening. The Russians, a few weeks ago, captured the small town of Soledar to the north with a big salt mine. That was significant. They're now attacking at the moment into Bakhmut itself, but trying to attack around the south. What they're trying to do is circle the city. And if they can circle the city, then they'll then try and close in and push any of the Ukrainian defenders that are in there out. Yeah. It's interesting what the Ukrainians are doing. They're actually carrying out what I would describe as a fixing military operation. So they want to hold the Russians along Bakhmut so that they focus as much as they can in there and stop them from advancing, slow them down as much as possible. And they don't mind giving a little bit of ground away, trade that space for time. That time is being used to take Ukrainian troops out, to go and get them trained on Western tanks, Western infantry fighting vehicles, and prepare for the Ukrainians' counteroffensive. So actually, I think the Ukrainians are successfully holding the Russians there. The Russians are focusing, and we'll see some potential breakthroughs in the coming days or weeks.
Yeah, I have no doubt that Bakhmut will eventually fall. The fact is, though, is that it's, you know, Bakhmut is already a major victory for Ukraine. Just the amount of resources that Russia has had to waste to control this city that is not going to have much effect on the battle that is coming. It's all about hitting Mariupol. It's all about getting further in, and having all those resources in Bakhmut isn't going to help anybody. Is certainly not going to help the Russians. You know, they're going to have to, you know, it's going to be funny, right? All these lives sacrificed to take this city, they're going to have to pull out of Bakhmut and redeploy to where the fight is actually happening. It's not going to, it just doesn't make any sense, except from the perspective of, you know, giving, it does make sense. It doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. It makes sense from the Russian perspective because they need a win, right? And the Wagner Group, you know, started this process in Bakhmut, and Putin is interested in the Russian military finishing this process, kind of like what happened in Soledar, right, with the Russian military taking credit. And it does make sense to, you know, make Ukraine, you know, spend resources in an area that's inconvenient for them. So, you know, they're pulling resources away from Donbass, away from Kherson, you know, and they have to focus all this attention in Bakhmut when they would like to be focusing attention elsewhere. So there is some strategic value to it, but it's really is going to be quite a tragedy when Russia eventually pulls out of that town, because they're going to have to. The battle is going to be happening elsewhere. It's not going to make any fucking sense whatsoever to keep moving into this. You're not going to hit Kyiv. You're not getting anywhere closer to anything.
And what is, I know you keep an active track of the number of days of this war. How many days are we now in of the 10-day operation?
349 of the 10-day operation. But I'm recalculating that. I've taken that from a number of different sources, and I actually think we might have skipped 10 days somewhere and be 10 days ahead of ourselves. So I'll recalculate that and bring it out next time.
All right.
Oh yeah, can't wait. You know, Davey is bringing up, you know, he thinks that the leader of the Wagner is on the outs with Russia. Putin is beginning to feel threatened by him. So I've seen similar reports as well. Apparently he, the leader of the Wagner group, oh God, I can't remember his fucking name, but apparently he's made a lot of statements about how, you know, he needs to be treated with more respect. He needs to be given more legitimacy. Stepping outside of his station, stepping outside of his role, and trying to, you know, command this a little bit more. And Prigozhin, thank you. And he really doesn't deserve it. And Putin is especially not interested in giving somebody with such a powerful military any kind of, you know, backing when it comes to his egotistical ambitions. You know, if you're not 100% ride or die Putin, you know, you're not as useful to the man. So I think there is some interesting developments there in terms of Putin and Prigozhin's relationship. We'll just have to wait and see. Putin needs the Wagner military, but Putin can also just, you know, wave his cancer-filled fingers and just absorb the Wagner military and their entire operation into the Russian military. He doesn't need Prigozhin. It's, you know, it's not like these people are ride or die Prigozhin. Oh, I love my leader. No, they don't. Kidding me? They hate this. They hate the guy. You know, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. All right, so moving on to the next clip here. What role does the Wagner Group play for Russia and Ukraine? So perfect segue into an appropriate story here about what is the future of Wagner and you know, what's going to happen here.
Russian forces trying to pierce its lines across the eastern Donetsk region. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has described the situation at the front line as extremely acute. Fighting has thrown a new spotlight on Russia's Wagner Group, a private military company led by a millionaire with links to Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Good point,
Many
Kim.
Wagner fighters killed in Ukraine.
There's a typo in the title. Deleted.
were convicts who were promised freedom in exchange for their service.
Whoa, dude. Whoa, okay, hold on. Her shirt was tripping me out. Is that tripping anyone else out? This shirt is just the perfect angle to fuck with me. I wasn't sure what the hell was going on at first. Okay, sorry.
Who were promised freedom in exchange for their service.
Oof.
This graveyard was once an empty piece of land.
Oh my God.
But then
man.
graves for the fallen fighters of Russia's mercenary Wagner group
This did not
started
have
getting
to
dug
happen.
frequently.
This did not have
Near
to happen.
a small farming community in southern Russia. The
Looks like they're getting ready for a lot of fucking bodies, dude. Jesus. And plenty of room for more.
Wagner group honors its forces with wreaths and wooden crosses.
Oh, he cares so much. There's Prigozhin himself. Looks like motherfucking Uncle Fester.
Forces with wreaths and wooden crosses.
Oh, the convict I sent to his death on a whim, using a strategy from the 1950s. Oh, so sad. Oh, let me just apply more lotion to my bald head. Looking like Kingpin's fucking failed cousin.
An
We care
investigation
so
by
much.
Reuters news agency reveals that at least 39 of the fighters buried here and in nearby cemeteries were convicts. They included killers, murderers, and career criminals, and were recruited last year to fight against Ukrainian forces. The US intelligence community believes Wagner had deployed around 40,000 prisoner recruits in
How many guys in this video you think are still alive? That's chilling to think about.
Ukraine as of December. The group leader
Look at this
include-
guy, man. Are we serious? Are we serious? This is not fucking reality, dude. No. The Illuminati's fucking with us, dude. This is motherfucking laser beam aliens, dude. He's not real. He's a cartoon character, dude. He fell out of Captain Planet. The fucking simulation's glitching out, dude. Glitching out, man. This is some guy who fell out of the fucking comic book. It's not real. It's not real, dude. Truth, Prigozhin's not real. None of this shit is real, dude. Come on, man. He looks like a James Bond villain.
close associate of Russian President Vladimir Putin, Yevgeny Prigozhin, promised the convicts freedom if they survive 6 months at the front lines.
First, they have been fighting for many years. They are probably the most experienced army that exists in the world today.
You should try
Second,
feeding
they
them.
fulfill all tasks independently.
The private military group
Independently. That's why we set up 3 lines so that they have no escape.
has been fighting Ukrainian forces in some of the most brutal battles of the war. It has frequently been accused of human rights violations. The US has labeled Wagner as a transnational criminal organization.
We've heard repeated concerns that Wagner and groups that are linked to it manufacture or exploit insecurity. They threaten stability. They undermine good governance. They rob countries of mineral wealth. They violate human rights.
Russia denies these
And let me tell you, the United States knows a few things about violating human rights. Okay, get him!
allegations.
This
These
guy.
statements from Washington are baseless. We have never seen or read any trustworthy
I swear to God, I would question reality if this man told me gravity existed. I've never seen such a liar. He's such a liar, dude.
arguments. No evidence or anything confirming has ever been presented to the public. Thus, all the statements from Washington have no value.
That intelligence they gave Ukraine sure did have some value. They seem to know exactly what the fuck's going on inside the Russian government.
With no signs of war in Ukraine coming to an end, it seems the number of such graveyards will continue to increase.
Well, let's get more on this with defence expert Marina Miron at King's College London. It's good to have you with us here on DW News. So firstly, could you just tell us more about the Wagner Group, its fighters and how it's financed?
Well, the Wagner Group was founded by a Chechen veteran, Dmitry Utkin, who is a kind of official leader, but the person who is financing this is one of Russia's oligarchs, Evgeny Prigozhin, who is also a close friend of Putin because he's been providing catering services to Putin. So that's where Wagner gets.
Oh, is that why he was doing the food thing for Putin? He runs a catering business as well. That's interesting, man. That's actually kind of interesting. This guy's got his little fingers and tentacles in all these different directions. He makes food, and he also is a private military contractor. Okay.
That's its funding from. And apparently Wagner as such is not registered in any country. However, we've seen that it's being used as a Russian foreign policy tool. The first use was in Ukraine when Russia annexed Crimea. Wagner was used there. However, during its operations until now, Wagner preferred to operate in shadows. It was also responsible for multiple military successes.
These were probably the guys that were used, the separatists, the rebels, right, in Georgia and the Donbass, and in Crimea, right, who are these military guys rolling in without any insignia on their uniforms? Who could they be? Not Russian, no way.
In Syria, it's operating all across the African continent, such as in Mali, Burkina Faso, Central African Republic, and there are still Wagner fighters in Syria. And now, obviously, we're seeing a lot of Wagner activity in Ukraine. However, this time, Wagner is trying to get into the spotlight because probably Prigozhin has some political ambition. So he's using this Wagner group in order to further his goals.
Right. So how much does the Russian army rely on these Wagner Group fighters in Ukraine?
I think there is a lot of reliance on Wagner, and I think they are not at odds with each other, given the fact that Wagner has also close ties to the secret military intelligence, the GRU. So I think they are coordinating their operations to a certain degree. And what Wagner does, they're doing the dirty work for the Russian army, and they've been doing that in Syria as well. So they are not afraid of any losses, because those losses are not documented in official statistics. So it's very safe to use Wagner because all the fighters, like the prisoners that Prigozhin has recruited, are not basically in the official death toll. So it's very politically comfortable for Russia to use Wagner to do all those things.
Mm-hmm. Now, at the moment, we're continuing to see heavy fighting around the area of Bakhmut, with Ukraine's president calling the situation extremely acute. If you were to look at the bigger picture here, could you break down how the Russian offensive is clearly making a lot of gains given these latest developments?
Well, it started with the fall of Soledar, in which Wagner was involved. There are some contradicting reports because the Russian airborne forces were allegedly also there helping to take Soledar. And so the idea was to move from Soledar to Bakhmut, and according to some reports, Wagner has already taken Klishevka, which means that they are very, very close to getting to Bakhmut and surrounding it. And that is the whole idea. And after that, the original plan was to advance towards Luhansk and Kramatorsk, and I think that's what is going to be happening. And obviously, we're seeing also some fighting going around Ukhledar. So those are the two directions right now that are disconcerting for the Ukrainian armed forces.
Okay, Marina Miron from the War Studies.
And don't mistake this as Ukrainian weakness. Ukraine is holding their ground where they can, and they're waiting on the terrain. They're waiting on the weather to make their big push. They don't want to pull the trigger early. And put their troops in a position where they're going to get bogged down, or stuck in a field somewhere when they're trying to close in on a position. So they're just biding their time. They're also waiting, of course, for that equipment. I don't know if they are going to. I don't think they're going to wait. Whatever offensive that Ukrainians have planned, I don't think they're going to wait for the Abrams to get there before they start that offensive. I think whenever the weather is cooperating, I think they're gonna go for it. they're going to keep pushing because they understand the longer they wait, the stronger Russia gets, right? And the more troops that they can put on the line and more equipment that they can get shipped to various places. Russia is not making large gains. They've taken a bunch of small villages. No one. Yeah, true. Bakhmut will be the largest town that they've taken, since Kherson, probably. All right, so moving on here, and thank you once again, Kem, for that video. We'll cover that one next time. U.S. said that it'll take months to get the Abrams there. I mean, just a couple months just to get them there, and then they got to be trained on these. They got all kinds of fancy ass gizmos and buttons and shit in there. Totally different from the Soviet era tanks that they've been piloting around. So here's something that's been a little bit underreported. It looks like Ukrainians had another similar strike to the one that we saw on the college that was being occupied by Russian troops who were about to be deployed. And Ukrainian estimates that over 400 people were killed, and they were also storing ammo there. So we kind of have a similar thing here. It's fair to point out this is a hospital. Hey, Lenny, greetings from South Boston. Lenny's going to be doing a stream coming up here pretty soon. Make sure you check it out. Lenny, give us your YouTube channel so people can check it out. Give you that like and subscribe. Ukrainian troops hit with HIMARS hospital where Russian troops retreated. So this is the Ukrainians attacking a hospital. Look, all's fair in love and war, and you don't think the Russians are trying to attack Ukrainian hospitals filled with Ukrainian soldiers. Got another thing coming. A hospital was being used as a barracks. Oh, didn't see that. Didn't know that part. That is interesting. So they actually weren't being did the stream today and gave you a shout out. Well, thank you very much, Lenny. #1 financial support of the stream, Lenny, everybody from South Boston. Go Sox. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. Let's see. Do we have you didn't put it in the general, bud? You got to give us a link to your YouTube. I want to see that YouTube. Lenny does a really interesting. Lenny's obsessed with suicide doors, and he covers a very, very specific and interesting podcast covering suicide doors. If you've ever wanted to know more about suicide doors, boy, Lenny could fill you in. So make sure you check it out. Lenny, give us that link to your channel. All right, so let's go ahead and check this out. So Ukrainian troops hit with HIMARS hospital where Russian soldiers retreated, 14 dead and 24 injured. Yeah, it's called Accidents Waiting to Happen on YouTube. See if we can find that link. Well, Davey, you got to tune in to Lenny's YouTube channel to find out, bud. Okay, so they struck a hospital in the occupied Novodar settlement of eastern Luhansk region with the use of HIMARS rocket launcher. As a result of the attack, 14 Russian servicemen who were being treated in the hospital died. So it was being used as a hospital. 24 others were injured, the Russian Defense Ministry reported. That's quality banana. Russia said the civilians were also being treated in the hospital and that civilian doctors are among the medical staff. However, the head of the military administration of the isn't the attack you thought. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, look, I mean, this is war. I'm not going to say, just like with the successful attack, here it is, Accidents Waiting to Happen. I'm subscribed. Make sure you check it out today, folks. Check out Accidents Waiting to Happen. Check out Lenny's channel. Check out his latest videos. Wait. Oh, live video. It was a live video. Okay, here we go. The special garbage fuel edition. You got to love this guy. Check out Lenny.
Well, hey, welcome to Accidents Waiting to Happen.
There you go.
Today is
great mic quality, great setup. Look at this awesome setup here.
January 28th. It's a Saturday. Here about...
There you go, folks. Lenny, I wish I had time to show it. You know, of course, we're doing our Ukraine segment here, but please check out Lenny's channel. Please check out Lenny's content. Very interesting stuff. And of course, very grateful for the Garbage Fuel shout out over here. I do not deserve it. Garbage Fuel doesn't deserve it. But thank you so much for all your support, Lenny. Garbage Fuel thanks you.
Garbage Fuel.
So thank you, Lenny. Cool channel, man. It's cool. It's very niche. I dig it. All right, so moving on. Leopard 2A6 tanks and Marauder 1A5 combat vehicles moving from Poland to Ukraine. So one thing that's kind of being lost in all this tank talk is that Ukraine is being sent a ton of armored personnel carriers and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, a few handful of tanks here and there from a smattering of people or countries, but lots and lots of armor, non-combat, armor that doesn't have guns, right? It moves troops around, moves gear around, all that kind of stuff, but just doesn't have a cannon attached to it. Whoa, loud. Sorry. 300 tanks in total. And yeah, look, those are just, it's going to take a while. The Leopard tanks they'll be able to implement rather quickly within a few months, but you can't wait to buy Russian farmland. Yeah, were you trying to be smart here? There's no invasion. Okay? There's no invasion happening. Russia will get its ass kicked, pushed to its own borders, and then we're going to try to get back to our peaceful lives. That's what's going to happen. I mean, no invasion of Russia. So, these were shipped. I think we saw a video of these on their way to Poland, getting trained through Poland. So this stuff is, logistically they were working it out. They were doing it, but they got the armor as close as they could without creating a national incident. And now it's finally crossing that border. Nobody deserves psychological suffering. No one deserves any kind of suffering. There are consequences to actions, though. If certain actions don't receive consequences, then certain actions will continue to happen. But nobody deserves suffering. Cool music, bro. So here we go. Russian media monitor. Boy, 23 fucking minutes of this. I'll play as much as I can stand. Caveat, once again, I always do this caveat. This does not necessarily reflect the views of the Russian government. With that said, a lot of these guys who are especially saying the most hardcore shit are trying to impress Daddy Putin, are trying to impress the Russian government, trying to, keep their job. So there's that dynamic happening. But I just don't want people to confuse, like when the jackass on Russian media says, let's nuke everybody, that doesn't mean the Russian government wants to nuke everybody. Okay. So let's get that twist. Let's get that, fixed. It's the same thing in the United States, all the bullshit that comes out of Tucker Carlson's mouth, right? That, just because he's American, that doesn't mean he's speaking for the American government. So same thing here, but it is different though, okay? Because you don't get on TV. You don't get on TV unless you're saying the right things, all right? And that's just a fact of Russian media, especially now, because they've basically eliminated any semblance of independence in any media channel. So you're either pro-war, pro-Putin, or you're pro-Siberia. Enjoy your new home. Well, Lenny, they're all Fox News now is what I'm trying to get at, right? There used to be some gradations in Russian media, right? Those are all gone. It's either, like I said, you're either for it or you're in Siberia, you know, slipping off a balcony. Whoops. Whoopsie daisies. Oh God. All right, so like I said, we're going to watch some of this. We're not going to watch all 20 fucking minutes of this dude fucking it's like a different fucking planet. Okay? It really is. And the things that they say are quite frightening. You know, even for me, it's like, my God, this is supposed to be news. Yeah, and this one's pretty nasty.
Ну что, дожили? Дожили. И
he's just like fucking Crowder, right? With his little pretend military get up. Look, he's got his little military coat on. Military tough guy, right? Just got back from the front lines. It's fucking posers, man. They're the absolute worst.
не надо относиться легкомысленно к тому, что их столько поставлено, что не сразу 1000. Поставят все. Мы осознанно... Помните, несколько лет назад я вам говорил, то, что на нашей с вами памяти эти сволочи еще и Гитлера реабилитируют. И как на меня руками махали, говорят, да ладно, прекратите. А это то, к чему идет. Это то, к чему идет. Это то, к чему идет. Идет сейчас уже Третья мировая война, а Запад вернулся к своей нацистской сущности. И эта нацистская сущность Запада, которую устала скрывать Германия и которой, наконец, открыто примкнула Америка. Вчера этот Байден впрямую сказал, что в этом сражении, то есть они вместе с Украиной, то есть они воюют против нас. А они это кто? Украина это кто? Это нацистское государство. Демократия вернулась к своей феодальной сущности, когда они рассуждают.
They're so fucking Nazi, they made a Jewish guy their president. Have you ever hated somebody so fucking much you put him in charge of your entire country? That's how much your average Ukrainian hates the Jews, dude. Don't even get me started on the gypsies.
Не о народах и не о правах народов, а рассуждает о том, какому феодалу, как они считают, и неважно почему, принадлежит земля. При этом история вопроса не рассматривается, потому что если рассматривать историю вопроса, то все границы существующие должны быть изменены всех стран. Их вообще ничего не интересует. Сейчас американцы лживо и подло заявляют, а они и будут заявлять, потому что мы не создаем для них никаких угроз. Мы не наносим удара по Нью-Йорку, мы не долбим.
One thing that'll help you keep your sanity is remembering that he's speaking mainly for the Russian audience, right? So stop trying to make it make sense, right? That will kind of help, right? He is speaking directly to the Russian audience and is well aware of the absurdities of what he's saying. Classic propagandist, knows exactly what he's doing, and that's exactly why he's sitting there. Has he lost some weight, by the way? He looks really thin.
Вашингтон, мы не угрожаем Майами, мы не делаем ничего того, чтобы американцам было опасно. Они взорвали наши газопроводы.
We're not doing anything to endanger Americans. We're just threatening nuclear war literally every week. No big.
Мы утерлись. Они поставляют тяжелые танки, мы утираемся. Хватит говорить про красные линии. Это абсолютно пустая фраза, не значащая ничего. Когда наши дипломаты в очередной раз говорят, это будет красной линией, народу это же воспринимается только одним образом. Пожалуйста, прекратите, либо объясните, что такое для вас красная линия. Уничтожение газопроводов, по которым поставлялся российский газ, и причинение, в том числе нашему государству, убытков на миллиарды долларов, не привело никаким последствиям для международных террористов. И все знают, что это морды британско-американские, мы не сделали ничего. Ничего. Мы никак не отомстили. Мы говорили, это будет...
No, except Russian military is all over the world attempting to do just that. I will say, though, that America and NATO completely ignored Russia and did not listen to Russia one bit, did not respect Russia. These actions have proved that cynicism correct. Russia's invasion have proved that cynicism correct, but I think it is fair to criticize NATO on this front. They never gave Russia any kind of breathing room, any kind of chance to push back on this, and retroactively, that I would say that was a correct action, but I think it is fair to point out that they weren't they weren't playing nice. If you were a young man with no ties, would you go and fight the Ukraine abandoned? We actually talked about that, and yes, actually, I would be interested in going out there if I didn't have a family, if I didn't have a wife, if I was, still in my 20s and I could really contribute. I don't have any training with a weapon, but maybe I can fill some sandbags. I can run some food around. I can go pick somebody up, some old lady from a war zone, and drive back. But yeah, if I did that, my wife would divorce me, and I'm having a kid now, and there you go. So maybe she wouldn't divorce me because now she's stuck with me, right? She's got a kid, so maybe I can go, guys. I just have to have a massive epic fight with my wife every time I talk to her for the rest of my life. No biggie.
Красной линии, если вы поставите наступательное оружие. Они поставили наступательное оружие. Мы не сделали ничего. Мы будем тогда рассматривать это как законные цели, когда они окажутся на Украине. Вы что, серьезно это несете? Вы вот это сейчас все серьезно говорите, да? Вот нацистские государства, Четвертый Райх. Теперь уже подзуженный своими американскими...
Can we talk about how good his Russian Nazi impersonation is? I can't even speak the language I can hear. He's got the tongue roll, and he does the whole Hitler thing. He's been on this whole Hitler thing for a little while now, calling the Germans out for their help of Ukraine. He does the whole thing, the Sieg Heil, and like all the Hitler stuff. He's really good at it. Coincidence? No, there's no coincidence there, but he's really good at it. I will say that.
Потому что Европа оккупирована. Подонки типа Борреля, Шольца, Бербок. Эти ничтожества нацистские. Они себя чувствуют абсолютно в безопасности.
You mad? He's so
Они вновь
mad.
посылают танки убивать русских солдат на русских землях. А мы говорим, мы их будем жечь. Где? Должен пылать Берлин, Париж, Мадрид, Лондон, Вашингтон, столицы нацистских государств, которые приняли решение воевать с Россией. У вас есть сомнения, что это война с Россией?
That'll fix it.
Что еще должно прозвучать, чтобы мы перестали к дорогим партнерам и коллегам относиться...
Why are we not at war with some of the most powerful militaries in the world? That will fix this problem in Ukraine.
Так, у нас есть стратегическое ядерное оружие. Почему оно не приведено в состояние повышенной боевой готовности и не направлено на столицы нацистских государств и на шахты, места базирования стратегической авиации, всей триады, которая может быть использована странами НАТО против нас ядерной? Почему не стерт с лица земли Киев после того, как нацистское украинское государство нанесло удар по месту базирования нашей стратегической авиации? Почему?
Exactly, David.
Хватит отделываться никчемными, пустыми словами. Война идет не в Твиттере, не в Телеграме, не в Фейсбуке. Война идет на земле. Идут удары по нашим городам. По нашей земле гибнут русские солдаты. Гибнут русские люди. Нацисты торжествуют. Как мы собираемся отвечать? Завыванием, что главное, чтобы не было ядерной войны? Нахрена тогда государство?
He really does. I mean, it's interesting. He really does view the nuclear option as a solution. It's really he's really pushing the nuke stuff. He's really and he's called out. He's pushing it so hard. He's even called out on these debate shows that he hosts. Like, so I mean, what do you think? They're not going to retaliate? What do you think is going to happen? I mean, you know, if we fucking fire a nuke, we're toast. And this guy is convinced. He's convinced himself that all they need to do is like use nuclear weapons, and then the whole world will stand back and be like, whoa, bro, oh, Russia's serious. Oh, okay. Now we're going to treat Russia seriously on the international. Oh, okay. You know, all that legitimacy that you lost, you're going to get it all back, and all that respect, you're going to get it all back. He really does see the nuclear option as just you know, the obvious solution. And man, if Putin listens to this guy, I mean, we might be invading Russia, right? Davies speculates, though, that it would just be a massive strike that would take out their entire navy, and you know, or just some kind of major show of force, but not a full scale invasion if Russia were to use a nuke. But who knows? I do know one thing: the response would have to be epic. It would have to be epic. There would be no excuse. And look, yeah, the hypocrisy is real. The United States dropped 2 nukes. I know it was a world war, right? But the United States and the Western allies will back them up 100%. Will spank Russia so red, so it'd be redder than my face right now. I'm talking, you know, little beads of blood coming out, man. That bottom will be red. It's just interesting. This guy won't shut up about nukes, man. It's not going to fix the fucking problem. You know what I mean?
Создавала ядерный запас
Yeah, why do we
тактических
have them? We should
стратегических
use
ракет.
them.
Для чего?
Tactical, strategic.
Чтобы бояться.
And Davies bringing up the nuclear. Yeah, it was different. There's still some hypocrisy there. There's hypocrisy when the United States tells another country that they can't have nuclear weapons, right? With all that aside, the United States will act, hypocritical or not, and the Western alliance will be 100% behind them, hypocrisy or not. Okay? It will be the end of the Putin regime. It will be the end of this bizarre status quo that we currently have right now, where people are like, you know, trying to rub the belly of the Russian bear instead of punching the Russian bear in the nose. You know, by allowing Ukraine to defend themselves and getting them the tools to defend themselves, but not going in themselves. That whole paradigm changes if this motherfucker gets what he wants. This guy will be in The Hague, if not slipping off a balcony.
Его использовать. И чтобы генералы с большими звездами, завывая, говорили о том, что ни в коем вы что, хотите ядерной войны? А вы что, хотите уничтожения России конвенциальным оружием?
See what I mean?
Которую стран НАТО в 3,5 раза больше.
He's nuts.
Вы хотите чего?
It's 1 + 1 = 2 for him. He's bananas, bro. He's coconuts, dude. And he's on TV.
Теракт на Крымском
He's one of the
мосту,
more
погибли
popular
наши
ones.
люди.
He's their
Ноль
Tucker
ответа.
Carlson.
Уничтожение инфраструктуры Украины – это не ответ. Не ликвидированы нацисты, отдавшие приказ на теракты на территории России. Ни одна нацистская сволочь на Украине не ликвидирована. Это не наши методы? А наши методы что, утираться?
Hail Satan. My Lord and
Думайте
Savior.
сами. Понимаете, что происходит?
I can't stop watching. You know what I mean? It's just, this
Думайте, что происходит?
guy makes a career out of being really bad at
Запад
his
уже
job.
впрямую говорит. Вначале было, нет, мы поставим только каски, бронежилеты и медицину, говорила Германия. Потом, нет, мы
Isn't it
поставим
great?
только...
And classic fascism, right? My enemy is equally powerful and overwhelming and scary, and we got to stop him at all costs. And my enemy is also incredibly weak, and you know, it's at our mercy that they are allowed to even exist, and both things exist at the same time. There's a lot of classic fascism here, But let's stay away from the comparisons to Nazi Germany, because this is a very unique geopolitical situation. And sure, World War III could come of this, but does anyone honestly believe that Russia could be even a player if World War III were to they've converted a big chunk of their economy. I guess they haven't gone full like conversion, right? World War level conversion of all their industries into the war industry. But would they even be able, if they were to just like snap their, okay, like World War III, okay, everybody is making bullets and tanks and we're doing all that. Would they have even a chance? I don't mean to suck America's dick here, but I really feel like there's a massive power disparity that people were just not, there were people aware of it, but they were like, come on, man, it can't be like that. They're the second largest military in the world. They got stockpiles up the wazoo. They've been training constantly. They're constantly doing war games against the United States military and NATO and all this shit. Of course they're going to, put up a massive fight. I don't know if that's true anymore. I'm like, when are you going to take this shit seriously? If they're not going to take it seriously, what year 3, year 4, when are you going to start taking it seriously then? If you're not taking it seriously now.
Оборонительное оружие, к которому относятся системы ПВО. Нет, мы поставим только... Что? Теперь идут танки. Это наступательное оружие.
Oh, no.
За ними пойдут. Уже пошли вертолеты, мы смолчали.
Uh-oh. And we stayed quiet. Like, oh, thanks so much. But what is... You're fighting a war, dude. What are you doing? Oh, it's so unfair. Come on.
Вертолеты производителей НАТО, а не старые советские. Им дадут теперь все. Мы так и будем дурака включать. Месяцами готовились экипажи для леопардов. Мы что, уничтожили хоть одну базу на территории стран НАТО? Нет. Мы нанесли удары по подлым польским собакам. Иначе не назвать эти инфраструктурные объекты. Гиены Европы, шакалы, вновь пытаются откусить кусок белорусской и русской земли. А мы что? Мы что? Мы выставили к чертовой матери отсюда посла этой страны? Нет. Хотя на аэродромы этой страны приходит техника НАТО. Мы нанесли удар по этому аэродрому? Нет. Мы уничтожили точки входа? Нет. Мы не сделали ни черта. Мы по-прежнему смотрим, как поставляются ГСМы.
Okay, just a couple more minutes of this. Do you imagine? I mean, the absolute saints at Russian disinfo, Russian media monitor, who sit through hours of this and painstakingly translate it for us. They're doing great work, and I see their work everywhere. Every news channel is using them. They're an essential resource right now. They are an essential resource. So big props to Russian Media Monitor. Please like and subscribe. They're doing really good work. Really good work. Just wanted to point that out.
Почему? Вначале была проблема. Молчание. Почему не уничтожены мосты через Днепр? Молчание. Почему не снесен с лица земли киевский квартал правительственный? Молчание. Почему существует до сих пор Одесса, Харьков, Днепропетровск? Молчание. Нет, не жилые кварталы. Хотя бы...
Why haven't you committed genocides all over the place? This is inexcusable. All these people are still alive. We gotta kill, kill, kill. This guy is nuts.
Правительственные. Места, где сидят эти нацисты. Нет
They're all
ответа.
nuts. Men, women, and children.
Они долбят по гражданской инфраструктуре, уничтожают жилые кварталы. Молчим. Они долбят по Белгороду. Молчим.
Striking Belgrade. Is he talking about that
Когда
one
они
little
начнут
missile?
наносить удары по Москве, Санкт-Петербургу и Екатеринбургу? К чему призывает подонок Подоляк? Молчим. Поляк жив до сих пор. Буданов жив до сих пор.
Okay.
Почему до сих пор не нанесены удары
You're too
по
busy.
нацистам,
You're too
которые
busy
дали приказ на
firing
убийство
missiles at
наших людей?
playgrounds.
Молчание.
Good point, Lenny.
Мы никому не отвечаем. Молчание.
We don't respond to anyone.
Наши солдаты героически воюют. Да.
Just nukes. Just
Ни
nuke 'em.
одна из существующих поставляемых единиц вооружения не принесла к желаемому результату. Но мы больше не стоим под Киевом. Жест доброй воли, вашу мать! Жест доброй воли! И Харьков жест доброй воли. Никто не расстрелян за Харьков. Никто не отправлен в отставку, по крайней мере, публично.
Okay, they took all those prisoners so that they could do prisoner exchange. If Ukraine wasn't taking prisoners the way they were, and Russia didn't have any use for those prisoners, those guys would have been smoked. Those guys would have been smoked. The only reason, and have you seen them coming back? They look like concentration camp, prisoners. Shaven head because they're kept in like disgusting conditions with lice and rodents everywhere, half starved because they're barely fed, bruised and cut up. They're not taken care of. And then the Russians coming back, they're all like well fed. Oh, I'm going back. No, you're going back to the front line, buddy.
Обществу не даны ответы на вопросы.
All right, last
Почему,
little bit.
я вас спрашиваю, приблизили границу к Белгороду? Не вернулись на эти позиции до сих пор?
Keep banging your hand on the map.
Молчим.
Did he write this shit down?
Шольц призывает верить федеральному правительству. Немецкий народ уже один раз поверил. Фюрер Третьего рейха.
Oh, give us more of
Готов ли
that.
он сейчас поверить фюрера
Oh, we're gonna get more.
Четвертого рейха
We're gonna get more Hitler.
и взбесившимся американским властителям мира? Не знаю. Знаю одно. Уничтожать. Уничтожать врага на подходах к нашей стране. Уничтожать врага на его земле.
You should try firing some missiles at your enemy instead of children in hospitals and other non-combat locations. You should try killing soldiers, man.
Используя для этого весь арсенал средств. Весь. Не должны жители стран НАТО чувствовать себя спокойно, когда русский человек страдает. Не должны.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you raging piece of shit. You raging piece of shit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's a discussion about the microphone. If people want to look closely, here's the link to the video. Wow. Like I said, and let's be thankful. Let's be grateful that the media does not reflect the opinions of the government. Because if the media did reflect the opinions of the government, we would be dealing with a completely irrational actor. Drop nuke. How come all these places haven't been eradicated or wiped from the face of the map, or whatever he said? Yeah, insanity. It's totally counterproductive. Even if your aim is to create a alliance outside of the Western alliance with China, and you're going to try to create your own dominance that way, like, it's just completely counterproductive. You think China's down for that shit? You think China's down for you dropping a nuke? Buddy? He's like, no, China will listen to us. Like Mussolini. China will listen to us. We're tough guys. China listen to tough guys. I mean, it's just, let's all be thankful that, Putin, I think Putin at this point is just trying to save face, but who fucking knows, right? Vlad Vexler is the only person I listen to when it comes to getting inside Putin's head. All right, so moving on to our next video. It's an exciting one. There's no dead bodies, but we do see a bit of a firefight. So hope you enjoy.
Бека пошла, Мальфар, пошел!
Are those fake? Is this fake? Are they shooting at anything? God, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell, isn't it? The Russians obviously do this as well, right? Are those is that a fake gun? That could be real. I don't know, man. God, that sounds a little fake, doesn't it? Got to show the Ukrainian Azov propaganda film. Oh yeah, okay, I will. Yep, good idea. Where's that gun? Where's that gun that sounds like a fucking cartoon like we hear over here? Where is it? We only hear it once. That right there. When do we hear that again? Dude, that sounds like a fucking sound effect from a sound effect library, bro. Canal 13 is an extremely biased propaganda channel. I don't know who pays or funds them, but they have no problem showing dead bodies and everything, but it's certainly not above them to be lying either. Oh, there it is again. There it is again. And it's too constant. It's a constant stream of gunfire. Dude, this is fake as fuck, bro.
Тормознулся, да? А ну-ка, ебать, есть, пацаны, поработали на. Пидоры не смогли унести, ебать.
Okay. I don't know. Little sus. Little sus. I don't have any proof. Seemed a little sus. Seemed a little sus. Why you gotta fake it? You don't gotta fake it. You know? You don't need to fake. You don't gotta fake that shit. So I don't understand. Are there really guns that sound like that cartoon sound effect? You know, like from fucking Call of Duty. Maybe that's just what it sounds like. This is a Azov propaganda video. They love the Vikings. Yeah, you get a proper Viking funeral if you fight for Azov. Hey, look, you know, they back that shit up, man. These guys are ride or die. These guys are ride or die. So, you know, as silly as it all is, they do back that shit up. You know, unlike Wagner, you know, they bend for anything. You kidding me? These guys are the real deal. They really are. They're out there kicking ass. Let's see. We get ourselves a new Dennis video. No, come on. From 23 hours ago, there's got to be a better map analysis. What's that fucking Ukraine? war update, something like that. God damn it. I'm getting nothing but the mainstream shit. Can't remember. It's a small creator. I featured him on the stream last time. I'm glad Dennis is getting a lot of attention. I'm sure he's going to put one down as soon as I end the stream. What is it? That content creator I showed last time. But I guess they don't have an updated video because they're not coming up. Ukraine War Report. Yeah. Is that what it was? Thank you, Chem Goblin. Reporting from Ukraine. That's the one. 23 hours ago. Okay. Well, we'll give Dennis a break this time. And we'll watch this one here. Same basically, same update. Let's see what we got.
Day 338. Today there is some good news. In the Vuhledar area, the Ukrainians capitalized on their yesterday's counterattack and developed their success further. The Russians were pushed from the city along multiple vectors, and right now the Ukrainians are preparing for a decisive push in the countryside. Losing it would mean that the Russian offensive completely failed, and they would need to start from scratch, but without the element of surprise. Last time I told you that the Russians took control of the countryside south of Vuhledar, burned the hospital buildings on the corner of the city using thermobaric artillery, and then under cover of smoke and supporting fire, entered the city. I also told you that the Ukrainians conducted a counterattack and crushed Russian flanks from the north. The counterattack was successful, the Ukrainians established control over half of the countryside and completely immobilized the Russians. The latest report suggests that the Russians initially planned to assault the city at night, but because they were now forced to engage in positional fights, the plan was disrupted and they stayed in one place.
Yeah, good job.
The Ukrainians took advantage of the situation and reinforced Vuhledar even more.
Nice.
As a result, Russian sources started reporting that assaulting Ukrainian positions became infeasible. One source claimed that the concentration is higher than 3 companies per 1 kilometer.
Shit, dude, they got that place
Ukrainian
locked
artillery
down.
has also adjusted and is engaging in counter-battery combat, as well as the support of the infantry near the city.
So these
For
these
example,
attackers
due
are
to the
getting
heavy
hit with
fire
artillery
and the
too.
feasibility of developing an offensive operation, the Russians have reportedly abandoned the hospital and even the southern countryside.
Yeah, they'd have to.
This countryside is comprised of around 24 sparsely located houses, and given the winter conditions, there is simply no place to hide. In order to reduce the supply and support of the main assault group that is still maintaining a presence in the northern countryside, Ukrainian artillery is targeting the areas of forces concentrations in Pavlivka, Mykilske, and other settlements. Some sources suggest that the Ukrainians also used HIMARS to target warehouses with equipment tens of kilometers behind the zero line, in order to prevent further escalation of the Russian offensive.
Cut off their supply lines.
So far, the Ukrainians managed to break.
You see, Putin, you should use your resources to attack military targets. Then you might actually have some success. A couple of those $1 million missiles might have actually really helped these guys out, wouldn't you say?
The momentum undermined the stability of Russian positions that they wanted to use to develop their offensive and ensure that the city was under full Ukrainian control. This is the 3rd day in a row where the Ukrainian General Staff is reporting around 800 Russians killed per day.
Jesus.
And although the number concerns the whole front line,
Come on.
it has significant...
I mean, and let's be real, these numbers are coming from Ukraine. So, but cut them in half. Cut them even a quarter. 250 people, around 200 people a day. That's nuts, dude. That's crazy. Even if they're wildly overestimating the amount of bodies. That's nuts, man. That's so many dead people a day. Of course they don't bother training them. But the thing is that they're not worth a damn. You put them out there, you get them all geared up, whatever you got, you throw them out there. How many times can you actually do that? How much Soviet surplus do you actually have?
Increased since the Russians launched their attacks in the Zaporizhia region. If the Ukrainians manage to push the Russians out of this northern countryside, it will be a complete failure for the Russians, and they will need to abort the mission. However, a lot of analysts started speculating, Ukrainian, Western as well as Russian, that the Russians did not launch this series of attacks in the Zaporizhia region to win. The main goal of these attacks may be to draw Ukrainian forces to this region and make sure that they keep forces in all 4 regions by sporadically attacking along the whole contact line, in order to undermine Ukrainian capabilities in the Donbas region. The reason why they decided to prioritize the Luhansk region likely lies in the quality of troops that they allocated there. The Ukrainians got very close to Kreminna and Svatove, meaning once Western tanks arrived, it would be much easier to create a breakthrough here than in Zaporizhia. In order to preserve at least some buffer, the Russians started deploying their most trained and professional troops, which they do not want to lose. One of the ways to achieve it would be applying pressure from the south, because in the south they have recently relocated a lot of mobilized soldiers that they can afford to lose. And judging by the footage of the attacks in the Rykhiv direction, it loosely fits the description.
Ukraine is so nuts. It really is just a bunch of open fields. Ukrainians have to deal with this as well. Storming certain positions, you just got to run in an open field, no cover, nowhere. This is the reality for a lot of soldiers on Ukraine and the Russian side. Could you imagine the pants shitting terror? I would be shitting I would be just skidding like Iceman on a fucking sheet of my own shit as I'm fucking running as hard as I can.
Because demobilized soldiers here were sent through the fields almost with no equipment and very little artillery support. The same cannot be said about Vuhledar, although their probability of failure here is very high. If drawing the forces away from the east is really the goal, and some sources do indicate that certain troops were sent from Drushkivka, such a costly strategy will further demoralize Russian soldiers and undermine any future operation in this region, whether it is offensive or defensive, because the soldiers understand that they are expendable. If the Ukrainians manage to retain control over key positions while waiting for the proper conditions for the next counteroffensive, such a climate inside the Russian army will help the Ukrainians to breach Russian defense more easily and penetrate defensive orders more deeply. If you're against the invasion of Ukraine and you want to support the work that I'm doing,
please like and subscribe. Love this guy reporting from Ukraine. How am I not subscribed? I thought for sure I was subscribed, but do like I just did. Like and subscribe. Follow the content. Great stuff. If you're looking for an alternative map analysis outside of Dennis, I think we have a hater. We got a hater in our midst. We got a hater, folks. Doesn't like to see democracies. All right, we got a couple more clips and then we're done for the day. I gotta get back to it. Wanted to start off with our combat footage with not a video, but just an image. This is, gate ban. I got a bad feeling, folks. All right, this is distracting me. This is too fucking crunk. This is just too crunk for my tastes right now. Hold on. Here we go. 228's a Russian thing. That's what I thought. I got a bad feeling, folks. That's what I thought. You got one troll just throwing up the fucking cocky. What is this? Is that Disguised Toast? Is that his name? No. What's his name? Good guy, good creator, YouTube guy. Unfortunately, he died. Biscuit, something biscuit, legendary biscuit, total biscuit. And then we get a follow from a 228 guy. It's all bad news. More chill vibes brought to you by Windows 96 100 Mornings. It's a really great vaporware album. Want to check it out? Please like and subscribe. I prefer the text-based map analysis. Yeah, those, give me a little personality. Give me a little human. Don't give me a robot voice. Or the text, I'm streaming. This is, it's got to be somewhat jingle key, Anyway, this is a horrifying image. These are Russians right here. And what we're seeing is the final image displayed on a kamikaze drone as it's approaching its target. It's Twitter thread. Oh, I see. Well, Davey, I got to think about my precious audience, okay? I got to be entertaining when I'm showing them war crimes, okay? I got to be funny and punchy. Come on, man. I'm up against Pokimane. I'm up against Pokimane. What am I gonna do, man? Pokimane. She's a juggernaut. The hot tub isn't working. Have some mercy. But no, this is horrifying. This is the last image of a suicide drone right before it hits its target. She's the juggernaut, bitch. But no, this is terrible. Putin, you got to get out of Ukraine. Okay, Crimea is not worth it. These men didn't deserve this. You got to get out. You know, these guys were obliterated. For what? For what? What? So your fees won't get hurt? Is that it? Ukrainian drones dropping munitions on Russian supply boat reportedly in the Kherson region. So thankfully no humans die in this video, but you know, this is how, once again, Putin and the Russian military really should try striking military targets. And I'm being facetious because of course they do, but they should really put all their energy and all their effort and all their munitions into attacking. They might have more military success, you know, if a couple of those $1 million cruise missiles they use to shoot at, you know, destroy an apartment complex, you know, could, you know, blow up some supply lines like what we see the Ukrainians doing here. So this is interesting. This is like heavily armored boat here. Russian guy right there. And so there's the boat right there. Russian guys. More Russian dudes. Uh-oh. I gotta get my censored button out here. I better be careful. Okay, so no one's there. Ooh, just missed. Maybe not. Maybe he was trying to get... No, because that... I don't think that door is down. Oh, there we go. Second try. Direct hit. Direct hit. Good job. There we go. Direct hit. Third shot. Ooh, direct hit. Nice. Right on the front. We got a fire going. Oh, boy, this thing's well armored. All right, try number 4. It's a direct hit right in the center. He's got it lasered in now. Another one. Number 5. Damn, this thing is well armored. It's taking these grenades like no problem. Oh, no, I guess not. Whoops. Looks like 5 is all you need. Whoa, it looks like it's all good, but no, I guess you can kind of see the beginnings of a fire, and it's, you know, that shrapnel is getting inside, and it's kind of hard to tell initially. But well, the results speak for themselves, don't they, boys? There you go. That's, you know, you love to see it. It's good to see. You know, no one had to die in that attack. Yeah, it's like a chandelier, dude. When they go up there, it's got like 5 or 6 of them, and they'll have multiple drones, but they'll have just a big cluster of them up there. Totally nuts, dude. And they're like, watching them load the drones is really crazy too, because they make it hover, right? So they hover it up, you know, at eye level. And then they hang the grenades, you know, and then they arm the grenades, and then they hang them, you know. So it's all like, okay, and then the pilot takes off with them. It's like, okay, don't fuck this one up. Boom. So I guess, you know, had a grenade left there, strike a spot. That's probably what was, you know, like, okay, we're good with the boat, you know, hit a last known location here, try to use your last grenade. That's just my speculation. I don't know. Technology is wonderful. It's also horrifying. Yeah. All right. Last video of the day here. Kreminna area, Luhansk region. 71st Jaeger Brigade destroys Russian positions, truck and manpower. Self-propelled howitzers, AHS Crabworks. And I did not see any bodies on this, so hopefully we won't, but I will get the censored button ready. And once again, I got a comment. I know I do this almost every stream, but the fact that we get to see this in almost real time. This probably happened just a couple weeks ago. It's kind of hard to tell. Actually, no, not a couple weeks ago. This would be a couple months ago. Did it? No. Look, it's wet on the ground here. So no, this actually happened maybe just a couple weeks ago, maybe this week. I'm not sure. What is the date on this? 6 hours ago. Do we have any kind of date? Kind of hard to tell if this is recent or not. I guess I'll stop speculating. Oof. God damn. I mean, that to hit a moving target with artillery that's like 2 miles away and you fucking hit that thing while it's moving? Crazy, dude. I understand that some of these munitions though are actually guided and they can change their trajectory mid-flight. So yeah, so they're just showing, you know, they're just showing Russians they look like they're just going for a walk, and then they show the artillery hitting those positions probably soon after. Yeah, don't take cover there, guys. I mean, it's amazing as well that I'm not seeing a lot of looking up. These drones, I mean, they're dominating the battlefield. There you go. That's just what it looks like. That's the dirty business of it. You use the drone to spot their locations, spot their hidey holes, and then you hit it with artillery. To be on the ground when this is happening is a nightmare. Is a nightmare. And I can, you know, like you'll see those the drone footage of soldiers just like in a trench, just like exhausted and depressed. They're not shooting at anything, they're just sitting there, and then the drone operator drops a grenade right in his lap. He doesn't even react. He's just like, yep, whatever. Fucking shrapnel right to the face. It must feel completely hopeless out here to be a Russian. You know, it's like, well, my government basically just wants me to die. Just like literally, that's my purpose right now, is just to be cannon fodder, to be shot at over here so that they don't have so that they can't shoot at this other guy or this other line over there. That's my whole job, is to be shot at. You know, Putin, you got to stop this, man. You got to stop this. You know, stop it before it gets to a third Vietnam worth of dead bodies, right? Folks, it might seem hopeless. It really can feel like that way. But it's not. It's not. Following my easy 3-step program, you too can create political change. Step 1, inform yourself about the world around you. It can be fun. Step 2, join a progressive political organization in your area. Join a union. Whatever it is, join the commies, join the anarchists. Get in there. Because step 3 is put in the work. It's not fun, not all the time. It's a job. It's your duty. It's your duty. He said duty. I know, but I mean it. Democracy is a job. And jobs don't have to be fun, but jobs are necessary. So I encourage you to take control of your fate, take control of your government, your life, and become politically active. That's the only way we can create change. Not going to do it by posting, not going to be doing it by jerking off on Just Chatting with the fellow millionaires. It's going to be in the streets. Going to be in the streets. Everyone, make sure you check out Lenny's amazing YouTube channel, Accidents Waiting to Happen. One more time. Let's go ahead and get that link. Like I said, very unique channel. Very unique channel. And if you want to see the content, check out the live tab. Just head on over to the live tab. Make sure you check out Lanny's channel. Love to see it. A lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom. You can learn from your elders. Heavily recommend listening to them. If they're worth a damn. And Lenny can tell you there's a lot of old folks that ain't worth a damn. Just like everything. Hey, Lenny, you have yourself a good one. Garbage Fuel Award goes to my man, Lenny. Garbage Fuel Award goes to you. Garbage Fuel Award's going to go to Meezer. Thank you so much, Meezer. Wasn't quite sure about you. You're kind of cryptic. You're kind of cryptic, Meezer, but that's okay. I like cryptic folks. Thank you for your contributions in the chat. Garbage Fuel Award goes to you. Garbage Fuel Award going to go to your boy, Chem Goblin. Chem Goblin, thank you so much. Here for the whole stream. Here for the whole goddamn stream. And lives in Ukraine, so we get that really unique Ukrainian perspective from someone in Ukraine. I very much appreciate that. Chem Goblin, thank you so much. Garbage Fuel Award goes to you. Garbage Fuel Award going to go to your boy, Davey, over here. Davey, #1 producer of the stream. All those contributions in the chat. And don't worry, folks, those links in the Discord, they're not going to be abandoned. I am going to go through them. I am going to, do a more robust stream. But hey, like I said, got a baby on the way, and I got a TV studio I got to finish. I got a lot of shit going on. Trust me, big changes coming to the News Underground, okay? And I want you to be there. Anyone else? Oh, Woke Patriot, thank you so much. Garbage Fuel Award goes to you. Thank you so much, Woke Patriot, for your contributions earlier in the stream. I saw you, buddy. Thank you for stopping in. Big Garbage Fuel Award going to go to Butter Knives. Thank you, Butter Knives. Garbage Fuel Award going to go to John Axel. Thank you so much, John Axel, for those contributions as well in the Discord. Rob MQ, Garbage Fuel, going to go right over to you. Thank you so much, Rob MQ. And thank you to all the lurkers. Full Metal, Garbage Fuel Award, Full Metal. Busy is good, but busy is busy, right? Just means I got to get to it. I don't have time. I'm not XQC and I'm going to sit here for 12 fucking hours jerking off. God, what a waste of fucking carbon. All that money, all those fucking eyeballs, and what do you do? Oh, dude, yeah, Grand Theft Auto RP. God, the power. All that power wasted. You squander it. Anyway, folks, peace in that motherfucking Middle East. Glory to the Ukrainian democracy. And, I hope you have a good one. Have a good day, Enjoy it. Barbecue. Smoke some weed. Call your mom. All right? Call your fucking mom. That's what the MGS2 ending was all about. Yeah. Kind of was, wasn't it? Thank you so much, Chem Goblin. Call your mother. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Windows 96. Lovely album. Thank you so much, Windows 96. Well, that's lovely. Bye, everybody.